Good afternoon, students. Today we are continuing our chapter that is 4.1 banking services, in which we are doing the topic banks today. If we recall the previous lecture that we did, that is about the business services, and in which the most important and the first services we have discussed, that is banking. So, which institution provide us the banking services? Banks. The answer is banks. So today we will study about the banks. In the modern age, banking has become the foundation of economic development. The term bank is being used for a long time, but its inception is still mysterious. According to the Oxford School of Thoughts, in the olden days, the trader of Italy who performed the job of exchanging money, where it is known as benchi or benchery. No doubt, in the olden time also the money is exchanged when currency come into existence. So the people who perform this job, they are known as benchi or bencheries. The reason for calling them so that they usually to keep the table with them for making the payments, which is called benchi. The term bank originated from the same term benchi from a Greek word that is benku. The meaning of this is bank. As per the layman point of view, if I talk or in a layman language, it is an organization. It is highlighted here in the meaning of bank. It is an organization which accepts the deposit, no doubt. You ever seen, if you have practical experience that and go to any bank to deposit the money, bank accepts your deposits. Sorry. Lends money. Bank also lend money to you. If you want to borrow some money from the bank, you can do it very easily and perform other the agency functions. In the toolkit 2, a complete meaning is given to you. Please read. Bank. A bank is an institution which accepts deposit, withdrawable by check, and gives loan and advances for the purpose of earning profits. It's a complete full-fledged meaning of a bank. Here two definitions are given to us that are given by T.G. Hart and Indian Banking Companies Act. So one of the definitions that you have to learn properly and write twice in your fair notebook. Now, let's see the classification of the bank. On which basis the banks are classified? The banks can be classified on the basis of the commercial banks are there, industrial bank are there, agriculture banks are there, regional banks are there, and other apex banking institutions. Commercial bank are all those banks which accepts the deposits and lends the money. They are known as commercial bank. You have seen so many commercial bank in your areas, like ICICI Prudential is there, SBI is there, Punjab National Bank is there, Oriental Bank of Commerce is there. So many private and public bank, sector bank you find. So foreign commercial bank might be there, Indian commercial bank can be there. And Indian commercial bank are of two types, that is for the public sector bank and private sector. If I talk about the industrial banks, that are on the two bases, national industrial banks and state level. We talk about the agriculture banks, these are the cooperative banks and land development banks. And regional banks are there, it is attached with the region particular. Apex means the highest. There are some banks which are highest in the authorities, like Central Bank is the apex bank of the commercial bank, that is RBI in India. Exim, export-import banks, they are handle the foreign commercial banks. National housing banks are there. Industrial Reconstruction Bank of India and NABARD. Sorry. These are the different apex institution in the banking. These are the various apex banking institution which supervise the banks under them. Now let's classify on the basis of the ownership. If we talk about the ownership, banks are classified on such basis. One is public sector bank. These banks are those which are owned by the government up to minimum 51%. The government alone controls them. In India, 14 banks were nationalized in 1969 and 6 in 1980. Please underline, you may get the 1 mark question out of these 2 points. One, in the public sector, how much is owned by the government? Minimum, it is 51%. You may have the 1 mark question or you may have the multiple choice. And you may have the true or false there. All these banks are known as the public sector banks. Their main objective is social welfare. After the merger of the new Bank of India in Punjab National Bank and addition to IDBI, in this category, the number of nationalized banks is 20. Besides these, the State Bank of India and its subsidiaries also included in this category. Now, the subsidiaries of State Bank of India, State Bank of Bikaner, Jaipur, State Bank of Hyderabad, State Bank of Mysore, State Bank of Indore, Travancore, State Bank of Sahastra, and State Bank of Indore are merged in it. It is in this manner now 21 banks are there which are working in the public sector. If I talk about the private sector bank, these are those banks which are owned and controlled by the private sector and some individual. In India, banks like Jammu and Kashmir and HDFC banks are the private sector banks. Control of any individual or body on these banks depends on the number of shares held by that individual or a private body. Their main objective is to earn profit. The private sector bank has the objective to earn profits. The third classification is the cooperative banks. The cooperative bank are those which are organized by a group of individuals. The main objective of these banks is to help its members. The state cooperative bank, the district cooperative bank, and the primary loan society are included in these cooperative banks. Now, classification on the basis of the functions. If I talk about on the basis of function, these are commercial and industrial banks. So if I talk about the commercial banks, this is of 3 types: foreign commercial bank, Indian commercial bank in public sector, and Indian commercial bank in private. So what are commercial bank? Commercial bank are the general banks which accept the deposit from the general public and provide them the loans. These banks perform various agency functions for their customers as well. These banks pay less interest on deposit while charge higher interest on amount lent. The difference of interest is the main source of their income. In India, there are 2 types of commercial bank. Foreign commercial bank, those banks which are based in some foreign country but have a branch in India are called commercial bank. Lloyds Bank, Standard Bank, Chartered Bank, Grindlays Bank, Citibank, Bank of America are the example of foreign commercial bank. Please underline, you may get the 1 mark question about the examples or write the name of the foreign commercial banks. All these banks provide the facility of the foreign exchange as well. Indian commercial bank. Those banks which are based on India are called the Indian commercial bank. These are the following of 2 types. Public sector bank. These banks are owned by the government having minimum 51% share of capital. They are 21 in number: Punjab National Bank, Central Bank of India, Indian Bank, State Bank of India, UCO Bank, etc. These are the example of the public sector bank. Some authorized branches of these banks has provide the facilities of the foreign exchange. If I talk about the private sector bank, HDFC is there, Jammu and Kashmir, there are various examples of the private banks. Industrial Development Bank. The Industrial Development Bank are those banks which give medium-term and long-term loan to the industry. These banks are help in establishing the new industries. The bank help in selling the shares and debentures of the companies and also purchase themselves and very often perform the job of the underwriting also. They usually provide loan for purchasing land, plant, machinery, etc. In India, these banks can be classified in two categories. One is national, another is state. If I talk about the national level industrial bank, these are the four banks: IDBI, SIDBI, IFCI, ICICI. These are the four national level industrial banks. If I talk about the state level industrial bank, these are State Finance Corporation and State Industrial Development Corporation. Now, the agriculture bank. The agriculture banks are those banks which are provide loan primarily for agriculture works. In agriculture, short-term loans are required for purchasing seeds, fertilizers, etc. While the long-term loans are required for land, tractors, etc. The banks which provide loan to the sector are classified in two categories: the cooperative bank, the land development. These banks provide the short-term loans to the agriculture sector. These banks work like commercial bank, but their structure and ownership pattern are different from that commercial bank. And these cooperative banks are of three types: state cooperative bank, central cooperative bank, primary cooperative societies. The land development bank, the main function of land development bank is to provide loan on the security of land. These banks provide the long-term loan. The main objective of these loans are to purchase tractors and land improvement, payment of all debt, etc. These banks are the following of two types: State Land Development Bank, the Primary Land Development Bank. So these are the agriculture bank. Let's talk about the rural regional banks. These are established in 1975 to enhance the banking facility in the rural area. In these banks, features of commercial and cooperative banks are found. These banks are sponsored by some commercial bank. Their total capital is 50% provided by the central government, 35% by the commercial bank concerned, and 15% by the state government concerned. The main function performed by these banks are to provide the loan to the small trader, small farmers, and for the development of the agricultural activities. Other apex bank, if I talk, these are in the category, the other banks, these are as follows. Central banks are there. Central bank are the apex bank of the country. The Export-Import Bank of India, that is established on January 1st, 1982 to expand the foreign trade. The main objective of this bank was to provide the assistance to the traders engaged in import and export. This bank provides the facility of refinancing the financial institution of the commercial bank. Besides this bank provides the loan facility for the establishing joint undertaking in the foreign country and to export, import machineries and tools. Third, the National Housing Bank. In 1988, the National Housing Bank was established. The main objective of establishing this bank was to provide housing loans to the general public. This bank provides the facility of refinancing also on housing loans and extended by financial institution and commercial bank. Fourth one is the Industrial Reconstruction Bank. The main objective of this bank is to rehabilitate the industries. For rehabilitation of industries, the bank takes the management of 6 industrial units in its own hands and provide them financial assistance. The National Bank for the Agriculture Rural Development, that is NABARD, the main objective of establishing this bank is to develop the agriculture in rural areas. The main function of this bank are as follows: to provide short-term and medium-term, long-term loans for the agriculture and its allied services, to extend refinancing facility to the commercial and cooperative banks on agriculture loans, to provide finance and encouraging the export of specific commodities to perform research work for rural upliftment. Now, what are the functions of commercial banks? Please mark, this is one of the most important topic you ever find, functions of commercial bank. First of all, let's recall the meaning of commercial bank. Commercial bank are those institutions which accepts the deposits and lends the money. So what is the primary function? The primary two functions of every commercial bank has, that is accepts the deposit and advancing the loan. Whatever the deposits are accepted by the banks, these are deposits from the public. This can be the fixed deposits, current deposits, saving deposits, recurring deposits, and multi-optional deposits. The types of deposits are there in, let me explain it. Number one, fixed deposit. FD, you ever listen? FD, the fixed deposit, means if the deposits are made for a fixed period of time and a predetermined rate of interest is to be imposed on that, and you will get that interest for that particular long period. And money deposited in this type of account is known as the time liability of the bank. Please underline and highlight this point for 1 mark question. Current account. Current account is when a depositor can deposit the money any number of time and can withdraw it as and when he requires it. The account generally of business class deposit their money, and generally in the bank does not pay any interest on these kind of deposit, because in this type of they don't get the interest, but they get the opportunity that they can deposit the money any number of time and can withdraw as well. While in the saving account, you don't have this kind of opportunity, but you get the interest in that. Money is withdrawn from the account by check. Money deposited in the account is known as demand liability of the bank. So please underline the last line from 1 mark point of view. Saving deposit account. This type of account is to be opened to encourage the small saving. The bank pays interest on this account and which is less than that of fixed deposit account. And money deposited in this account is known as the demand liability of the bank. Recurring deposit, RD, means regular basis deposit. A depositor deposits the fixed amount of money for a fixed period. The money is deposited on the monthly basis. The money cannot be withdrawn before the expiry of the fixed term, except the certain condition. The amount of interest which is received on money deposit in this account is pre-deposited along with the principal. This account attracts higher interest in comparison to the other accounts like fixed deposit account. Money deposit in this account is known as time liability of the bank. So please underline the last point. The recurring deposits are known as the time liability of the bank. The next type is the multiple option deposit account. In this type of saving bank account, in which deposit in excess of particular limit get automatically transferred into fixed deposit. On the other hand, in case adequate fund is not available in our saving account, bank account, so as to honor a check that we have issued, the required amount get automatically transferred from fixed deposit, term deposit to the saving account. The balance amount continues as fixed deposit and earns interest as per the existing rate of interest. It is to be noted that one can earn higher rate of interest from the fixed deposit account than a saving bank account. Therefore, the account holder has twin benefit from this account. He can earn more interest and it lowers the risk of dishonoring the check. So these are the different types of deposits. Now advances the loan. The another function of the commercial bank is to advances the loan. A bank receives money through deposits. The certain part of money is transferred to the cash reserve and balance is used by the bank to advancing the loan. These banks generally provide loans for productive work while doing so. They demand a proper security. The amount of loan is generally lower than the value of security. The bank advances a loan of the following type. Cash credit means under this, a borrower is allowed to withdraw a specific amount on the basis of the specific security. The borrower withdraws the money and deposits it within the limit of a specific period. Overdraft. The customer who maintains the current account with the bank takes permission from the bank to withdraw more amount than the deposit in his account. The extra money withdrawn is called the overdraft. This facility is available to the trustworthy customer for a small period. For instance, if it is an individual account of rupees 10,000 is deposited and bank has also allowed him to issue a check up to 12,000, then 2,000 is an overdraft facility. Demand deposit. These loans are provided by the bank against the security of the fixed demand deposit, government securities, life insurance policies, etc. These loans are called the demand loans because the bank can demand them anytime. Please underline for 1 mark point of view. Term loan. These are the loans provided for a fixed period for the purchase of any machinery, truck, scooter, house, and the borrower repay these loans in monthly, quarterly, and half-yearly annual installment. Discounting the bill of exchange. This is another method of providing advances by the banks. Under this, a bank gives money to its customer on the security of bill of exchange before the expiry of bill in case of customer needs it. After charging discount for the remaining period of the bill, the bank makes immediate payment against the bill. A bank discounts only the trade bill. The bank charges interest from them as per the market rate and realizes its money on the completion of the period of the bills of exchange. I'll just clear it more with the help of an example. Suppose a person purchases any asset or goods from another person and he just write a note that I'll pay you this money after a certain period. Then it becomes that authorized document has become the bills of exchange. Suppose the vendor who sold the goods needs the payment immediately. He can deposit the bills of exchange in the bank and get the money. Let it be the bills of exchange of rupees 10,000 and he want this money 2 months early. After 2 months, the money is to be paid by the purchaser. So what the bank will do? The bank will keep the bills of exchange with it and he'll provide the money to the vendor after deducting the rate of interest at a specific rate. That interest that will be deducted is known as the discounting of the bills of exchange. In this way, this is also one of a type of loan provided to the person by the bank. Now the secondary functions. Secondary functions of the banks are agency functions, means as an agent, bank performs so many functions like the collection and payment of various items like the taxes paid, insurance premium, bank collects the check as well, rent, interest, etc. Bank also purchase and sale of securities on the behalf of its customer. Bank also play the role of the trustee or the executor for the assets of their customers. Remittance of money, remitting money from one place to another place is also done by the bank through the bank drafts also. Letter of purchase and sale of foreign exchange. Bank also encourage the foreign trade by selling and purchasing the foreign exchange. Generally, this function is performed by the foreign commercial bank and some authorized branches of the public sector Indian commercial banks. Letter of reference. Bank also provide information of financial condition of their customer to trader for the some other countries. In same manner, the bank collects same information about trader of the same and the other country for the customer as well. Bank draft. Bank draft is an financial instrument which help the money can be remitted from one place to another place. So any of the bank can obtain bank draft after depositing the money into bank. The bank charges some commission in lieu of issuing the bank draft. The amount of commission varies from bank to bank. The bank may issue bank draft even free of cost depending on the customer's relation with the bank. The bank issues a draft for the amount of its own branch at other places or on the other bank at those places. The pay can be present the draft on the drawee bank at the place and collect the money. As bank draft fund are withdrawn directly from the bank's fund, not from the individual's account, it is less risky for a creditor. So it will be honored by a drawee bank unless the draft is forked. Now the features of the bank draft. Through the bank draft, money can be remitted from one place to another place. The issuing bank charges some commission for it, and it is less risky for the creditor as it has no chance of to be dishonest. Banker's check or pay order. A banker's check or a pay order is almost like a bank draft. It refers to that bank draft which is payable within the town. It can be termed as a local bank draft. Bank issues pay order for local purpose and issue bank draft for the outspacious. The commission on pay order is slightly lesser than the bank draft. Like a bank draft, it will be honored by the drawee bank unless it is forked. Hence, it has no danger of being dishonored. Features of banker's check or the pay order are it is almost like a bank draft. It is payable within the town. It is issuing bank charges commission on it, and it has no risk of being dishonored. So these are the various agency functions that are provided by the bank. What we did first of all we did the primary function provided by the bank. In the primary functions, we did accepting the deposits. Various deposits are there, which are fixed deposits, current deposits, saving deposit, recurring deposit, multiple option deposits are also there. After that, we did the advancing of loan in the terms of cash credit, overdraft, demand loan, term loan, discounting of bills of exchange. If I talk about the secondary function, these are the agency functions that are done by a bank. And after doing agency function, let's do general utility services performed by the bank. Now, what are the general utility services? The facility, everybody know that the banks has a locker and where we can keep our gold and silver or any kind of ornaments or important documents also we can just keep there safely. And the rent of the lockers is always very low. Traveler's check or the letter of credit. Bank also provide the facility of the traveler check to their customer who are traveling. With this facility, customer need not to carry any cash and they can travel very freely. Further, bank issue a letter of credit to that customer who are importing the goods and help them a lot. For importing and exporting of goods and services, that traveler's check and letter of credit is foremost required. The next is our business information and statistics. As the banks are aware of the economic condition, they can advise their customer on the financial matter by collecting the business information and statistics also. If I talk about the next, it is electronic banking services, e-banking services we can say. It refers to the computerized system for performing the transactions or financial transaction. The transactions are to be done through computer or the internet. Now today you know very well it's the time of updating technology. Innovations are there. All the bank has become the CBS. CBS means computerized banking system based. Now electronically you can avail so many services from the banks. These are EFT, these are ATM machines, these are debit card, these are credit card, telebanking and core banking, NEFT, and after that it is RTGS. These are the various type of payments that are made by the banks. Today we will study till here, and let's see what is e-banking and what are the facilities are provided under e-banking. So under the e-banking, first of all, EFT means electronic fund transfers. I hope you ever did this. When you go to ATM machine, an option is floating there for the fund transfer, or you may have on your any application on your mobile phone also to fund transfer. Google Pay is also there. So many techniques are there. So by using any of the software or the ATM machine, you can transfer the funds. So direct credits can be there, direct debits can be there, like shares, dividend, interest on debenture, commission, salary, pension, etc. And debits can be there as well, like you pay your electronic bill. I hope many of the students just pay their electronic or telephone bill. They get their recharge online. You are doing these activities electronically nowadays. So I hope you are well aware about the electronic fund transfer. Insurance installment we pay the club membership fees, credit card dues we pay through electronically. So these are the payments, whether it is done due to by the mobile phones or the laptop by using various software. The, many of the schools are also charging the fees electronically. So this is the payment, electronic fund transfer. We can just make the payment on the due date. There is no loss in the transaction, no mishandling of the cash, and effortless transaction is there. No expense on the correspondence as well. Within a few seconds, you can just make the transfer from one place to another place by using the internet and the software on your mobile. Now ATM. ATM is the automated teller machine. Whenever you use ATM, you have seen it gives command to you. It tell you what to do, where to touch, and what all instructions are to be given to the machine. And you have to enter your personal identification number in that machine, and you can operate this machine during 24 hours. No restriction on the use of, and these are going to become very popular every day. Debit card. ATM card is also known as the debit card. You ever seen, and if you have not seen these things, please consult to your parents. Do these things practically, because nowadays hopefully your parents are using these techniques, and if they are not using, please make them aware about these methods of the electronically fund transfer and make their life easy by transferring the funds online or electronically. No need to standing in the queue to pay anything, no, or deposit anything. Just do the online transfer, just do the transaction electronically, and you will find each and everything with the blinking of an eye. The things will be transferred from one place to another place. It will become very easy. Debit cards are there. So if ask from your parents, they have the ATM cards. Those are known as the debit cards. And debit card is a kind of plastic money, you can say, or plastic card, which allows a bank to take the money from the customer account and transfer it to the seller account. Credit card is just different from the debit card. Credit card are the card for those customers who enjoy the good reputation. It is not necessary for a customer that should have money in the bank in order to get a credit card. This is a sort of overdraft facility. With the help of this card, the holder can buy the goods and obtain the services, the name of the issuing bank, along with the identity, along with the date of validity inscribed on the credit card. It's also a plastic card which allow the customer to buy now and pay back the loaned amount to the bank in the future date. And if I talk about the telebanking or telephonically, you can have the latest information and you can do the transaction, that is known as the telebanking. And core banking. Core banking is your core banking solution, which is known as centralized banking solution, computerized banking solution, or popularly known as the CBS. You may have the short note about the core banking or CBS, so do this para so carefully. Learn it so well. CBS is a facility which facilitates each and every bank and the customer a speedy and effective banking anywhere and all the time. In this system, a customer by opening a bank account in one branch has the CBS facility can operate the same account in all the CBS branch of the same bank. It is immaterial with which branch of the bank the customer deals when he or she is a CBS branch customer. A CBS customer give a unique ID and it will identify that customer has a privileged CBS customer, which gives the customer the ease of operating any account with any of the CBS branches without necessitating fresh photographs, introduction, etc. So cash withdrawal facility is provided by the CBS branch. Instant transfer of the funds between the accounts is also be done by the CBS branches. Passbook can be updated across the CBS branches, as well as facility of the centralized corporate limit can be operated anywhere from the CBS. Now, the second last is National Electronic Fund Transfer. When you transfer your funds electronically at the national level, then it is known as the NEFT. NEFT is a very famous mode of settlements, the transaction. For example, as per RBI norm, NEFT settlement takes place 11 times a day during the weekend, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and 5 times during Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Any transaction initiated after the designed settlement could have wait till the next designated settlement time. If I talk about the feature of the NEFT, it is fund transfer network and a branch has to be NEFT enabled. Not any individual firms, companies, and it can be transfer their fund. Only individual firm companies maintain their accounts, and in case of anyone, bank account has no limit, either minimum or maximum, on the amount of fund transfer that to transfer using the NEFT. But you have to keep one thing in your mind: whenever you withdraw the money or transfer the money, according to the sum of amount, it has some service tax and charges. No charges has to be levied on the beneficiary, and real foreign remittance cannot be received through NEFT. Yes, foreign payments cannot be done through NEFT. NEFT can also do the transaction in the batches. And RTGS is the real-time gross settlement. It is much more wide than the NEFT. And the transactions settle as soon as they proceed, and gross settlement means the transaction that are settled on one-to-one basis without bunching or netting any transaction. This is much more wider than that. So please read the difference provided by the banks